Hey guys, so today I was thinking about showing you something a little different. I was thinking about maybe making some chocolate chip cookies because I make the best chocolate chip cookies. Follow me to the kitchen because Chef Stego is about to blow your mind. Alright guys, welcome to my kitchen. The recipe that I am using for today's chocolate chip cookies are actually from this book, which is called Dessert for Two by Christina Lane. I'm going to zoom that in a little bit for you guys. I personally love this book. I've done a couple of recipes out of it, and everything tastes amazing. And my favorite thing with any cookbook, and it's something that I actually really look for in cookbooks, which is kind of hard to find for some reason, is the fact that with every recipe, there is a picture with it, just so that I know how it's supposed to turn out. I'm just picking random pages here so that you guys can see that there really is a picture with every recipe. Alright, so most people tend to start with their wet ingredients first. I'm going to start with the dry ingredients just so that I can get all the measuring stuff out of the way before I wet them so that I don't have to wash them in. Smart. Also, I'm very lazy, so I try to take the easiest route possible. So the first dry ingredient that we will be starting with is all-purpose flour. We need a half a cup plus 2 tablespoons of this. This recipe will make 12 cookies. That's why it's baking for 2, not 10. If you want more cookies, just go ahead and double the recipes or triple them or quadruple them, whatever floats your boat. I'm just going to stick with the 12 cookies because if I don't, I'm going to eat every single cookie that I make. So here's the flour, just so that you can see it. Now it's telling me to add 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Salt is in there. I know you can't see it, but it's in there. So next we need baking soda, and we need 1/4 of a teaspoon of this. Baking powder, again, we need 1/4 of a teaspoon. Alright, so I have all my dry ingredients in here. That is the salt, the baking powder, the baking soda, and the flour. I'm just going to give it a little twirl here to try and mix it all in. Started on my wet ingredients. First things first, the recipe calls for 4 tablespoons of butter. That's half a stick of butter. I put mine in here for easier access, so I'm just going to go ahead and dump it in there. Tablespoons of vegetable shortening. I use Crisco because it's 100% vegetable and no animal products, and that is what I want. Next, we need 1/4 cup of Domino light brown sugar. And before we start mixing, I will be using granulated sugar. I keep it in this super adorable sugar container that my sister got me. We will be needing 3 tablespoons of this. Now we can go ahead and give it a nice mix. We want to mix until it is super creamy. I'm going to go ahead and turn the oven on to 375 so that it can warm up by the time I am done this and putting the cookie dough on the sheet. Now that I went ahead and creamed this up real well, it doesn't look like much of anything, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in this separated egg yolk. Just the egg yolk. I'm going to go ahead and put in 3/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla flavor. Now it just looks like really weird and gross, but I'm going to go ahead and give this another whirl. In my dry mixture, I'm going to do that in 2 batches. So 1 batch, and then whirl, and then 1 batch, whirl. So I still got some left in here. Before I go ahead and give it a whirl, I just want to let you know, do it on a low speed so that you don't go up in a puff of white flour. Alright, last batch. The next step is to go ahead and add in your little chocolate chip pieces. They call for 1/3 of a cup. So I'm going to go ahead and use these minis. The reason I like minis is because they're smaller, so they melt faster, and then they stay melted, which when you're eating it like 2 hours later and chocolate's kind of still melting in your hand, it's just so good. We are no longer using the mixer, so I'm going to go ahead and use my spoon and kind of just roll it all up in there, just so that I can evenly distribute the chocolate pieces. So here's my cookie sheet. Here is my parchment paper that I've gotten from the dollar store because the dollar store has everything. I'm going to go ahead and line my cookie sheet. That way when the cleanup process starts, it's super easy for me and I can just pick it up, throw it out, wash this down, and be done with it. So here's that. Next, I'm going to go ahead and use this to pick up scoops of the cookie dough and to put it on the sheet. The reason I use this is because I can scoop and then kind of just push it out. What this does is, 1, it makes all the cookies the same size, and 2, it just makes my life easier than trying to ball up and put down and ball up. It's just scoop and poop. Scoop and poop. Not poop, poop like boop. Like boop. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and show you the easiness of scoop and boop. So I'm going to go ahead and scoop, and then boop. Look at that. And once that melts, it kind of just melts, and then you have no idea. Alright guys, here we have 12 even chocolate chip cookies, and I'm going to go ahead and put them in the oven. And I'm so excited, and I can't wait for my house to start smelling like a bakery because I absolutely adore the smell. Just look at that. I'm going to go ahead and put them in the oven so that they can bake to their heavenly perfection. Say bye. Also going to go ahead and put my timer on 10 minutes and hit start. My God. Do you see that, guys? Do you? Do you see that? Look at that. It's melting as it's just laying there. We go ahead and start transferring them onto that cookie sheet so that they can cool thoroughly. Alright, now that the cookies have been transferred to the cooling rack, I can go ahead and get rid of my baking sheet. As you can see, there's nothing left over on it, no melted chocolate, nothing burnt, so it's going to make my cleanup process really easy. I can't get over how perfect they look, guys. And they're like thin. Do you see that? How ultra thin they are? And you just know that they're going to be crunchy on the outside and then gooey on the inside. I am so excited! I'm showing you the perfection that are my chocolate chip cookie. But do you see that? Look at that. Like they're just so thin and so perfect and just They're like crispy but chewy at the same time, and I don't even know how else to describe it. But look at those little minis. You see them? They're so good. And they're so good that they don't even need to be dunked into milk. But sometimes, milk is necessary when eating chocolate chip cookies. But really, you don't need to dunk it in there. But just for so I can show you just how good they are. They're pretty heavenly. And I'm not just saying that because I made them. Even though, of course, because I made them, they taste really good. But they're really good. Now, me personally, I can't eat raw cookie dough. I know a lot of people who, when they're making cookies, they'll just eat the dough, and I find that completely disgusting. I will, however, eat raw cake batter. I think that's absolutely delicious. And I know that people are going to be, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but they're just going to be like, what do you mean? How do you not like cookie dough? I love cookie dough. And that's disgusting because cookie dough is disgusting. Well, raw cookie dough is disgusting. The product of a cookie dough is just heavenly, and I like to wait till the end before I start digging in. I'm really glad that you guys followed me on this journey. Let's go ahead and take it back to the books. So, the books, which is what I'm guessing you're really here for. The cookies were just a distraction. I'm going to recommend this again. It's called Dessert for Two by Christina Lane. I believe she does have a YouTube channel or some sort of blog. She has something. She's pretty popular online, to be completely honest. I've never watched any of her stuff or, been to her blog. I ran into this on Amazon when I was looking for something that would give me enough food for 2 people so that I do not have to throw out the rest. I said everything that I've tried in this book has been delicious, and here I am recommending a baking cookbook, and not just telling you to go find some recipe online because books are everything. Yeah, guys, that's a wrap for right now. I'm going to go ahead and eat another cookie, and let me just tell you, they smell divine. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this video. Let me know if you would like to see more baking. If not, let me know that also. Of course, you know the drill. Make sure you're commenting, liking, sharing, and most of all, subscribe. Donald, you